I punished people because I felt that was it. That was the anger, the rage. I used to hold it and it used to blow up. And if you came in my way, you got it. And I felt good afterwards. After I broke you up, I felt, wow. I felt good. I relaxed then, had a beer, smoked a cigarette, laid back, great. You know, I just hated people.
I remember being so angry that I shoved an old lady on the street because she wasn't walking fast enough and she was right there in front of me.
All I know is that hate. I didn't even love my mother. I told my mother I hated her because she was weak.
Therapy kind of brought out all the people I should be angry with in my life, and there was a long enough list of those before I went in for therapy, so I'm not sure if I gained anything. But at no point did I think that this was something that I wanted to stop.
A lot of times I couldn't stop. A lot of times I couldn't stop. It was just like I just had to get it until they don't move no more, you know? And I mean, I used to walk around with a gun and I just pop, you know, and like that.
I'm an attorney. I graduated from law school at a time that there were very few women in the profession. And I was one of the very first of the women to enter the male-dominated world of corporate finance. I was known as this Irene and the Dragon Lady.
And the only thing that good was to me was hate. The only love that I had was hate. Hate became love to me.
I terrorized. I ruled by intimidation. I owned that conference table when I walked into the room. They knew who was in charge.
I did almost 12 and a half years in prison because of my hate. But I loved prison because it was nothing but hate in there. One night in Brooklyn, on the street corner, I said, well, this is it. I'm going to go get the gun, and I'm going to go take care of what I got to take care of. I call it holding court in the street.
I received another invitation. And I had forgotten Nancy's name, and I didn't know why I was getting these invitations, but I thought I was important enough that I should be on anybody's list. And this was an invitation to a black tie dinner at the Waldorf, where a member of the president's cabinet was going to be speaking about the relevance of Christ in our society. So I looked at this opportunity to go in and network, to see people that I was sure I would never see anywhere else, collect business cards, and get out before the speech, because I had no interest in hearing about anything that this man had to say. And I guess to this day, I don't have any non-supernatural explanation as to why I stayed, but I did.
Well, I didn't know nothing about God. I didn't know who God was. I didn't say there was a God or there wasn't a God. Whatever, fine. That's the way I believe, you know, but he said, you know who Christ was? I said, no, I just heard that some guy got killed for us, and that's it. You know, so he asked me if I wanted to accept Christ in my life. I started thinking, I said, man, I tried everything else. Let me try this. I said, yes, I did, and he brought me down here. I started talking about how much I hated people, how much I hated my father, how much I hated myself. And I just started to speak about it, and all of a sudden I felt something in me just moving. And before I know it, I was like laying on the floor. You know, I started to cry because, I don't know, I felt a lightness in me. I felt, you know, something I never felt in my whole life. I felt like somebody cared. Somebody really cared for me, you know?
I was really shocked to find that I prayed to receive Christ that night at that dinner. I had no implication whatsoever as to what this meant. In fact, I remember walking out of there saying, this didn't mean a thing. They just created a mood here. And that's when my life started to turn around. I remember at the time that I was drawn, even during that month, to be going to church on Sunday. And I was wondering if I was losing my mind, because it was not anything I had ever thought about or had a desire to do.
I couldn't speak the words yet. I couldn't speak the word I love, you know, but as I started on that in here, discipleship did something for me. It made me speak the word love. And I meant it. Because one night we were in here and we pray here at night, at 10 o'clock, we pray in here. The brothers get together and pray in here before we go to sleep. And I had to speak. I said, look, I have nothing to give you guys, man. Y'all been giving me this, and now I have nothing to give you. But only I can give you, which I never gave nobody or said that I love y'all.
I always thought that people who went to Bible studies were weird. I thought there would be nerds in Buster Brown shoes.
Discipleship did a lot in my life as it helped me grow as a baby. As I take the word where it said spiritual milk, I drink the milk. God just put it in there, and not too much. I don't want to, vomit back, gurgle it up, And I start to grow. As I stood 16 months in here, I saw more of myself. I learned more about myself. I learned more about God, that there's nothing He can't do and everything He can do.
I'm currently leading 2 Bible studies, which I think is a manifestation of God's divinely directed sense of humor.
You know what's good? That I used to look in the mirror and all I saw was blackness. I couldn't see the color of my eyes. To me, they were black. My face was dark. There was no life in it. But now, as the love moved on me, I just stay in the bathroom mirror all the time, going there 5 times a day, going there. And let me say, is this real? Is this me? My eyes are brown, matter of fact.
Well, last night when I returned home at the end of an evening out, my doorman remarked to me, apropos of nothing, that he noticed that I'm always smiling now, and that years ago he noticed that I never smiled.
That's something I never did, laugh. Something I never did. I never laughed.
Well, the interesting thing is that in my former existence, I had very few friends. And in fact, my weekend home had 5 bedrooms and a private tennis court, and we never had guests over. And my life is full of people now, and including people from my pre-Christian days with whom I was never friendly before.
What God can do in my life, what God can do for me, pick me up, take me, wash me, wring me out, dress me up, put His word in me, put His spirit in me, and give me a diligent heart to seek Him, God can do for anyone.
I use almost every opportunity that I can to let people know how God has changed my life. But one of the main differences in my life now is that I'm able to deal with a lot more uncertainty, and I've given my agenda over to God. I don't know where He'll lead me, but wherever He leads, I will follow and serve.
I thank God that He saved me, that he gave me a new life, and I thank Him for the blessings. I thank Him for opening doors for me. I thank Him for just letting me see that life is good, I thank God for being God, I thank God for still being up there, But I thank Him basically for not letting me die, without knowing salvation.